All right, welcome back, everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 best of 3 replay cast. There we go. I got that one right. Getting an introduction right on the second video after a month-long hiatus. Not bad, I'll say. We're going to be having ourselves a TvZ here, Terran versus Zerg. It's going to be another one of the Asus ROG replays, so Asus Republic of Gamers, their assembly tournament that recently just went on. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch any of that with being away, but now we're going to live it through replays. So that's going to be the plan. I'm going to cast a lot of the replays from this tournament. They're just such good games, such good players, and it was just fantastic to have an event like that going on. So, yeah, we're going to jump right on into it. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, it is a monster Terran. He has been, and he probably always will be. It's INnoVation. He's on a barcode account right now, so you guys can't really tell. But, nope, he is indeed INnoVation. And taking him on in the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's a Zerg, it's a bug. It's Lambo playing for Team Clash. Lambo, one of the top European Zergs. He sort of really rose up and up. He hasn't necessarily sort of peaked as people maybe thought he would. Maybe fell off a little bit, but no, he's still one of those European Zergs that are just incredibly good at pretty much any stage in the game, constantly competing against guys like Raynor, like Lambo, or like Cyril, like who are the other top Zergs going on at the moment? I guess it really is these three for the big three, unless I'm forgetting someone. I feel like I'm probably forgetting one or two other fantastic Zergs, like a Laser. Of course, he's up in there as well. Of course, though, taking on someone like INnoVation, not going to be an easy feat, but we'll see if he's able to make it happen. Lambo is one of those good Zergs who can just shut a Terran down, just shut down what a Terran throws at him. So that's what I'm curious about. I'm curious going into this game. I mean, of course, what's going to happen in the first place, because, I mean, I've been gone a month, and I don't even know how StarCraft works anymore, really. The meta evolves just that quick. So I'm sort of getting a feel for things as we get back on into it. Just trying to catch up on as many games and things as I can. As far as this game goes, Reaper on the way out. SCV Scout for INnoVation, just wanting to play it as safe as possible. Meanwhile, Lambo has gone for his third base at this location here. INnoVation not yet scouted it, but nothing too sort of erratic that a Zerg player can do at the start of the game to really throw a Terran off. Looks like INnoVation going to be able to find himself a Zergling. Just one Zergling for the Reaper tax, not bad. As long as it's not a drone or anything, you're a pretty happy Zerg. Now, moving forward here, let's see. Hellions on the way for INnoVation, getting up that natural base, and then getting up Starport behind this. Tech Lab building on that barracks. And so, yeah, very standard opening. Now, what I'm interested about is the style that INnoVation's going to play. Mech has been a lot more common these days. And going from there, that basically means that Zergs have to adapt a little bit more. They've got to be, like, they're very good at shutting down the standard play, and that's where Lambo really excels at. So I think the big question for going up against someone like INnoVation is honestly going to be is, how is INnoVation going to approach this? If INnoVation plays like the standard, like, Marine tank timing, I think Lambo can probably take care of him pretty reasonably, depending on how the game goes on. Speaking of how this game's going on, Hellions are just sort of just YOLOing in here. They're trying to get some drones, but they actually don't get many. One drone goes down there for 2 Hellions, so actually a very good trade there for INnoVation. Or for Lambo, pardon me. Not a good trade for INnoVation. Throwing away 2 of his Hellions. The Reaper jumps on in here, tries to get a drone, but great save by Lambo there. My observance getting better, being able to catch that, but oh, this Reaper, he's looking to pick off maybe one other drone. Does Lambo save it? No, he doesn't, so that Reaper does end up getting a drone. He looks for a second, but doesn't find it. So in the end, that really was like 2 drones for a Reaper and 2 Hellions. Lambo is a happy Zerg with that trade. And now, this is the question I was wondering. Is it mech or bio? It's going to be bio coming out of INnoVation. Should be a 3rd CC going up somewhere around here. Generally, if you start stim just on the one barracks, it does lead into a 3rd CC. So it's going to be a Banshee. He's making Banshees. He's getting up Hellions as well still. But it is going to be that sort of Banshee harassment, Hellion poke into the standard 3cc bio play. If I had to, yeah, I believe that's what it's going to be. There we go, 3cc up. Gets scouted by Lambo as well, which is absolutely fantastic for him. Now, of course, Lambo doesn't know that Stimpack is on the way here for the Terran. But still, we'll see if Lambo's able to stop this. Cloak Banshee comes on in. There is no lair done yet, So drones are going to die to this Banshee, which is pretty darn problematic. I mean, I was talking about Lambo just being able to deal with most harassment. This is pretty standard harassment, yet INnoVation going to be able to get himself 6 drones with that Banshee. Now, 6 drones isn't just like a massive amount. I mean, it does hurt Lambo, there's no doubt about it. It's definitely more than he should have lost. And now we see the Hellions try and poke it in here, and oh my gosh, they actually got like 6 drones there. Pardon me, my observing's still warming up a little bit. We gotta catch that. So INnoVation doing the classic 1-2 punch there. Banshee harassing. The Banshee even distracted me, but look at that. Those Lings just out of position there. Hellions diving on in and out. Looks like they go for the drones somewhere around here. Yeah, they do. Oh, so many drones were stacked up there. There was one volley for like 6 there. So INnoVation did get a lot of damage done here so far. We were just trying to shut this down, but then, of course, there's also still going to be the Banshee lurking about, which is never a good thing for a Zerg player. I mean, the 6 drones kind of acceptable there, but when you add on that other 6, it really does hurt for Lambo. He's making drones to cover that loss right now, but going from there, I mean, it's really setting him back. INnoVation's getting all this cool stuff up here, getting up Stim 1-1, whereas Lambo's just like, well, I'm remaking those drones he killed. And generally, that does not bode well for the long term for a Zerg player. So we'll see what Lambo's going to do from here. He's got to stay on top of things like his creep spread going on, because INnoVation is going to be having a pretty sharp timing, or a pretty good window, just from the nature of how far he set Lambo back. Because looking at this, we see the Queens in position to intercept the Banshees. That's a very nice move by Lambo. I mean, if he can cover all of his bases here, literally and metaphorically, then he definitely can come back in this game. But that 12 drone loss did hurt. He is back up to 67 though, and now he's just really got to focus on getting ready to defend the attack that's going to be coming his way. In comes these Banshees though, looking for some more harassment. One drone gets picked off. The Queen is running behind the Spore Crawler, just trying to stay alive. Oh, she's not retreating though. Banshees do want to pick her off. They're just nabbing up drones, injuring the Queen there. Looks like they do want there. I mean, they're playing with fire a little bit, but still 6 more drones going down. That is INnoVation's number. That is 666 drones right here. The Banshee does go down. But yeah, that is 666 drones, which is not a good omen for the Zerg player here. So getting back into it, Lambo taking a fair bit of damage this game. I mean, his creep spread's starting to look pretty good here, though. 1-1 on the way for INnoVation, though. And I mean, like, that's the scary thing about these Korean Terrans. Like, you just look at it, like, they'll do damage or whatever and stuff. You're like, all right, maybe I got this. Maybe I can bring it back. But just behind the scenes, I mean, INnoVation is powering up. Lambo is getting a nice move here, just denying these Marines, unloading in this Medivac constantly. INnoVation trying to go for a bit of harassment. So far, not finding too much additionally, besides, I mean, the original 18 drones, which really said, oh, it was 21. Apparently I missed an extra 3 drones dying somewhere. But look at this though. Lambo's creep spread is looking pretty darn good. Even gets some nice Baneling connections there on some of the Marines INnoVation had out there. And he does resume spreading that creep right away. So that's really important here for Lambo, because I mean, this creep, it's starting to make it decently far. As long as he keeps this up, that's really going to buy him a lot of time before the Terran pushes on in. And that's something that's very critical. When Lambo has taken early damage, you got to be able to recover it. That being said, though, creep could be getting shut down a little bit here as INnoVation steps forward, picks off one of the creep queens. Lambo retreating with the remaining, and now taking a bit of an engagement on the front of the map. I don't know how well that's going for him, though, as he did use a lot of Banelings there just to push back just a small portion of INnoVation's army. INnoVation's production really just ramping up here, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. Behind this, though, it is important to note Lambo has been powering up. He's starting to get up Hydras, actually, as his tech up choice. Not going for mutas or anything like that. These European Zergs, I mean, they sort of eased off the Hydra style maybe a little bit, but I think it's still a perfectly valid style, so it's great to see the fact that that Lambo is going to be going for this, just going to try and build up enough muscle off the back of his rebuilt economy, and then just be able to shut down whatever INnoVation decides to throw at him. I don't know about you guys, but Hydras are actually pretty decent versus just like Marines and Marauders, unless INnoVation, say, gets some tanks, and they're also exceptional versus Widowmines. So the few Banelings to help zone out the Terran army, and then with the great splits of Lambo avoiding the Widowmines, I mean, it goes pretty darn well here for the Zerg player. We see INnoVation sending in a scouting Marine, seeing this hatchery wriggling here. Lambo trying to get up to 5 bases, and he's on a pretty good economy right now. So this not looking too bad. As I say that, though, a bunch of Widowmines do drop in this base, and that's going to be 5, 6, 7 dead drones there. That one extra wood of mine also being left there. That's a bit of a mistake there for Lambo. Gonna want to take care of that, but INnoVation now starting to hit this point in which he's just dropping all over the map. Another wood of mine drop getting queued up towards the natural of Lambo here, so you got to really be on point here if you're Lambo. That wood of mine still hasn't been cleaned up, so that's gonna fire again. And meanwhile, Lambo just trying to hold off on the front. INnoVation pressuring him all over. Got to get some more overseers all over the map here. Wood of mine's going to drop at the natural. Looks like another 13 drones are going to go down here. The spore crawlers reveal the mines, but the damage has already been done. And oh, look at this Lambo, not even clean this up. He's got to move that spore crawler in order to reveal it. Otherwise, this mine, I mean, what's it at right now? 7 kills. It's going to keep getting more. And wood of mines are pretty cheap, guys. So you don't want to let these mines just keep getting more and more value. Lambo trying to keep his economy going, but INnoVation up on workers is going to have a better production, and Lambo is not maxed out, so taking this economic damage is really hurting him. He's just maybe getting a little bit antsy here. He's going to attack on into INnoVation's side of the map. And then, yeah, let's take a look here. Lings and Banelings rolling towards the third base of INnoVation, picking off a few SCVs, but nothing too major, and that was a fairly big commitment from Lambo. INnoVation got supply blocked a little bit. Something like that is nice for the Zerg player, but Lambo's still down on supply here. He's going to try and engage on in towards INnoVation, but this is off creep. I'm not sure what Lambo's hoping to get. He does get a few decent Baneling connections, though, and he's got a fair few Hydras still, but you got to be careful if you're Lambo. You don't want to overcommit. He's kept the pressure off him a little bit. INnoVation not really focused on the counter harassment right now, so Lambo trying to squeeze out a couple of drones here and there. And let's see, Lambo looking to push him in once more. I mean, the players... Lambo is down on upgrades, and he is attacking on in towards that choke point. The tanks in the back getting a lot of value. Banelings are going to finish up, but I don't know how effective they're going to be without creep. And they are pushing forward. They're getting some decent connections, but most of them being nullified by the tanks, by everything else. And Lambo did just die on that hill of him trying to attack on in. So looks like INnoVation just going to clean on up here. 40 Zerglings on the way. I mean, Zerglings, they're pretty darn good. They're pretty darn quick, but I don't know if they are enough to help Lambo out here. INnoVation cruising towards 3-3. His army is just going to get better and better here. And he kept his base alive. He didn't take too much economic damage. And Lambo, he's just not at that scary Zerg stage. That wood of mine hit was disgusting as well. He's just not at that scary stage in order to just remax and just trade out like this. The snowball sort of has been rolling against him. Resources lost in the favor there of the Terran player, no doubt about it. INnoVation just doing this fancy micro with this. Takes a bit of friendly fire there, and could lose a medivac or two to these Hydras, but still, it's just so much, so much Terran here. The production of INnoVation is much better than that of Lambo's, and Lambo marching forward into some tank fire. That's gotta hurt. INnoVation is overstimmed, and Lambo is hanging on. The game's not over just yet, but I mean, Lambo just making Lings, just making Hydras, and it is not a great number of really anything. 3-3 about to finish up for INnoVation is really going to put a hurt on the Zerg player. The tank count has steadily been rising as INnoVation starting to take this Hydra threat a little more seriously. And yeah, look at this hatchery now under fire. This is where things could really get bad for Lambo. He's going for a counterattack with his Lings towards the natural of INnoVation. Is it too little too late, though? Counterattack with a few Lings does not really counteract the fact that INnoVation is about to snuff out one of Lambo's critical bases. A couple of Banelings rolled forward, got some decent connections, but there just wasn't enough to wipe out this army. INnoVation inching forward with tanks. His hatchery is about to go down. Lambo fighting with everything that he has right now, but yeah, he's got to retreat. The Hydras, without the upgrades, they just crumple versus what INnoVation has. And INnoVation takes game number 1, so we're going to load on into the next game. All right, into the next game right away. Let's take a look here. INnoVation and Lambo, I mean, that was a pretty close match there. Like, all things considered, Lambo took that bit of harassment and he played it out, but definitely has the makings, or definitely is a great Zerg player. But, yeah, he doesn't have the makings. He is a great Zerg player, but someone like INnoVation is just so tough to beat. But I think Lambo can definitely beat INnoVation. Just depends how things are going to go. Now that we are at the second match in this video, let's just try and get back onto that habit of pressing like on these videos, guys. It's been a while since I've been gone. I'm gonna try and get this channel going again, full swing, video every day if possible. So if you're enjoying this video, if you enjoyed that previous game, make sure to hit that like button. The goal is 20 likes. I mean, it might be a bit tough to make it. You guys, I think some of you guys sort of forgot about me a little bit. But I'm just going to be here casting Starcraft regardless now that I am back. So yeah, big support to the channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you're watching this video and you're enjoying it, make sure to hit that like button. As far as this game goes, I mean, just rambling on a little bit before things really start heating up. And yeah, let's take a look. Overlord moving across, other Overlord moving across. I'm noticing a lack of skins here for Lambo, so that might put him at a bit of a disadvantage. But then INnoVation also has no skins. These guys, they are not very styling, I gotta say. Let's take a look. INnoVation. Gonna be going for a Reaper expand here, it looks like. Meanwhile, Lambo just going for a standard hatchery expand. The map is Thunderbird. Thunderbird, definitely a bit of an interesting map. I mean, I haven't had a chance to play too many games on it personally, but this map pool has been around a while now. And yeah, let's take a look here. There's just these minerals in the middle of the map which can be mined out. I don't know if anyone ever actually bothers with that. There's the third base, which you need to, if you want to harass it, you got to take out these two mineral patches with drones, or go for yeah, or go for just drops or something like that. But yeah, we'll see how this game's gonna go. INnoVation just had some nice standard harassment there in that previous game. Lambo, I mean, he's usually pretty good at shutting down things like that, I feel, but INnoVation, I mean, he just went in for a Banshee. I'm not sure if Lambo was really prepared for that kind of opening, something like that maybe. Or if INnoVation is just so crisp and precise with his timings that it works out for him. Drone, Ling's taking a bit of fire here. Is Lambo going to try and repel this Reaper? The Reaper managed to kill a Ling in the previous game. Does he get one this time? Yes, he does. So that Reaper coming in, getting yet another drone here. Spots the third base of Lambo, just realizing that this is looking like a pretty normal TvZ to start. We'll see if it stays a normal TvZ, though. I'm wondering if we will see INnoVation play mech, or if he is just that competent in bio, in which we'll just say, yeah, I'll just play with bio and just pull you apart, kind of like it did in the last game. That mule being pulled off the line there, that's a sign that a Terran player is on point. Pulling off a mule off the line, because mules will actually waste money, guys. They won't finish their previous mining trip, and they'll die sort of in action, so you pull them off so that they don't die with money in their hand. Now, let's take a look here. Natural base getting saturated up by Lambo. Third base on the way up. And we have seen Pneumatized Carapace on the way for Lambo. So he really wants to see what INnoVation is thrown his way. So these Overlords, they're basically just going to fly on over, just get all the scouting for days. The only anti-air, the only thing that shoots up for INnoVation is one Marine. And one Marine does not kill an Overlord quickly, particularly when the Overlord's faster than the Marine. This Overlord just moving on in. Spots what I believe was that third base. Yes, he does. So Lambo knows exactly what INnoVation is going for here. INnoVation just playing a very greedy style. He's getting up Cloak on the way, and that was also scouted, I believe, by Lambo. And then Stimpack on the way. So a pretty similar build to the previous game. I think that that Stimpack and Cloak might be a little bit later, and the third CC a little bit quicker on this game, but don't quote me on that entirely. And now let's see. Evo Chamber on the way for Lambo, so maybe going to be wanting to get one of those upgrades going as quick as possible. And then we'll see if INnoVation is going to be able to get any early harassment done, or get any early damage done with these Banshees. I don't imagine him getting so many kills like he did in the previous game, but of course anything can happen when you're someone like INnoVation. His harassment is just always on point. That being said, though, Lambo already getting Spore Crawlers on the way, making that adjustment. They should be done in time for this Banshee here. Let's take a look. Banshee just hanging out to the north. Cloak is done. INnoVation not even moving in with it yet, though, so definitely missing his window here a little bit, and already looking like a much better start this game for the Zerg player. And now 1-1 on the way for the Zerg. INnoVation's 1-1 not even started yet. His eBay is not even finished up yet, so just the way this game's going, Lambo has a few edges here. The Hellions, they're going to be coming on in. We'll see if INnoVation is able to get a lot of drone kills this game, but I don't know if he'll be able to get as many. As I say that, though, these Hellions do actually make it right into the natural, and some drones are going to be getting fried on up here. It is a fair bit of a commitment here from INnoVation, as he's gone in with 6 Hellions, and I think they're all going to be going down here from the seam of it. I mean, only 3 drones have gone down so far. Those drones are clumped up, though, versus these Hellions. 5 drones in total for 6 Hellions, though. That is the final number at the end there. Not bad here for Lambo, I don't think. As I say that, though, in come these Banshees towards the main base. Does Lambo spot these? Yes, he does. He's brought his Queens in position in time. Does he have any at the 3rd base? Yes, he does. So there we go. This is that shutdown from Lambo, shutting down that harassment. You might be like, oh no, Lambo, he lost 5 drones there. But that was for 6 Hellions. That's a pretty big commitment at this point. And Lambo is starting to reach that economy, which he can just nullify that 5 drone loss. So this opening is so much better here for the Zerg player. He's getting up his lair, getting up his Baneling Nest, 1-1 on the way. So once that lair's done, he should be able to start his 2-2 in time. INnoVation is going to be able to pick off a Queen or 2 here with these Banshees, which is a nice move from the Terran player, realizing he can get some value there. Tries to get a creep tumor or 2, but they do finish up, and he's actually going to scan to start picking off these tumors. I do like this from INnoVation. Lambo's creep spread in that previous game was pretty great. In this one, though, not as easily, not gonna have as much free reign with that INnoVation, though. I mean, getting a bit of creep isn't really worth not getting a ton of damage, so still a much better opening here for Lambo. 2-2 already on the way for the Zerg player, so he's gonna keep his upgrades rolling, and INnoVation, he's not gonna have an upgrade lead really at any point. Lambo just playing this heavy Ling style from here on. And we'll see what he's going to go into next. A Hydra Den on the way. So there we go. Lambo just playing this monster Zerg style in which you pretty much just absorb any damage and repel the Terran constantly. And once there's Hydras in the mix, the Zerg army really solidifies. It really makes it tough for the Terran just to trade out, get those drops and harassment off. So this is actually really exciting here as a fan of Lambo. Like, just if he can just stay steady for the next minute or 2, he's just going to be able to shut down INnoVation, I feel. INnoVation, of course, is always going to be looking for some sort of harassment, but there we go. Another Banshee gets picked off. INnoVation is going to be going for a drop towards the 3rd base. Lambo is moving overwards into position, though. Looks like he will spot these medivacs. Does he react in time, though? Looks like he is pulling some units back. Gotta defend on this front, though, so multiple fronts are being poked right now by INnoVation. Can Lambo react accordingly? Drop at the 3rd base, couple of mines being unloaded. So far, no major damage getting done. INnoVation is going to set to work on this hatchery. If he can get this hatchery, that'd be absolutely huge, but with the Queens here that have transfused with the Lings and Banes coming forward, not looking too bad. Oh, a nasty Widowmine hit there. These Queens take a bit of a beating there, but so far, no major damage here done by INnoVation. Lambo is supply blocked, though, and he needs to get building overlords immediately. His bank is really starting to go up. 5 overlords on the way, so that's a fair bit of a mistake there for Lambo. He's not producing anything at all right now since he's so supply blocked. You just gotta, I guess, morph as many Banelings as you can, spend your money, because Lambo is floating a bit of money here as the Zerg player. He invests in another hatchery to try and spend it, but we need to see a lot of units on that production tab. We don't want INnoVation to overwhelm the Zerg player just because he stopped making units here for a second and got supply blocked. So there we go, Lambo spending that bank, starting to build up this strong army here. I'm excited as a Lambo fan right now. Is he going to be able to make this work? INnoVation's starting to push in towards the 4th base, which is a little bit scary for Lambo. The creep has been pushed back by INnoVation a fair bit, so he doesn't have much of or I guess just room or grace here for Lambo, as the INnoVation is going to be just pushing in and hit that 4th base pretty darn quick. A few more overlords getting chewed up as well, so that's kind of hurting here for Lambo. Right now, INnoVation is poking and prodding, retreating to his minefield here, but looks like Lambo is going to get a full shutdown on this front. He's still so good with dodging out those Widow Mines, and when we take a look here, INnoVation runs on in with a small contingent of units in a couple of dropships, but they just get pushed back right away. So Lambo is starting to make this look like he is solid enough to hold on here versus INnoVation. Oh, these Hydras, can they pick off a medivac? They do. That's nice. Not having to worry about one more medivac is always great. That being said, though, in comes INnoVation towards this 4th base again. Lambo's army was a bit out of position. Now he's morphing in more Banelings, but here comes in a lot of the force for INnoVation. Lambo wants to push him into this, but INnoVation knows that he can't overstep. Lots of Widowmine shots going off, though. All the mines have been cleaned up, though. And that might have been all that Lambo needed, because now his Hydras can just trade right on out with this bio. They just deal so much damage to the medivacs. They're so good versus this bio, as long as they have a bit of a buffer for them. and it really punishes the Terran. Now let's take a look here. These Hydras, yeah, I mean, they deal a fair bit of damage versus this bio, and their health isn't too bad, so yeah. Not looking too bad here for Lambo. INnoVation got a small drop-off towards the natural, but Lambo reacts to that accordingly, and then still just pushing INnoVation back. That being said, though, his supply, it's not the best in the world. He's invested a lot in upgrades. He's going to have Adrenal Glands here. He's getting out of Viper. He invested in Ultra Cavern. Burrow, all sorts of other upgrades are on the way. He just has to make sure that he can keep churning out enough units and that INnoVation doesn't start to snowball. That's the one concern for Lambo in this game, it would seem. Baneling's getting decent connections, though, on the Terran army. Lambo's got a pretty good Hydra count, so he can trade out versus his bio, which is pretty stimmed. INnoVation, though, coming in with reinforcements, just really starting to rally up. And I mean, I feel like I've been looking at Lambo's side of the map this entire game, pretty much, and I think I have. But taking a look at INnoVation's side of the map, he's not slowing down. Yes, he's committing to these attacks, and he hasn't been able to really hurt Lambo too much, but he is also keeping his economy going. He's getting up a 5th base behind this. He's going to be adding on more production here and just continuing that on. Look at that, a Ghost Academy on the way. So already thinking of the later game, realizing that he hasn't killed Lambo. Lambo, though, not in a bad spot. He's even getting out a Viper with energy, and I think a Parasitic Bomb in these medivacs could be absolutely huge here for the Zerg player. But oh my god, 17 drones just died. What on earth just happened? Oh, was that at that 4th base? Was that a Widow Mine or something here that hit that 4th base? 17 drones, guys. Alright, we gotta back up. We don't usually back up, but yeah, INnoVation just dropped right over the Zerg army and got 17 drones as Lambo retreated. Oh, that was absolutely huge. That was actually so much damage here. It wasn't just like a little bit that Lambo can absorb. That's actually really concerning amounts of damage. And in comes INnoVation towards this 4th base. Once again, not letting up on the pressure. Widow Mines get cleaned up, deal a bit of friendly fire, clean up some Zerg units. So far, though, things staying together for Lambo, but it is looking a little dicey here. INnoVation starting to get a little confident, just pushing in with all of his bio. A Blinding Cloud retreats the Terran army, but look at this. There's now Liberators in the mix here for INnoVation. He's pushing on 2 fronts here, really. That being said, though, Lambo, he's got out an Ultra. He's got chitinous plating for them, so this is going to be one tough boy here, and soon enough there's going to be 3 tough boys as more of these Ultras are about to pop out. That being said, though, they're not tough boys versus Liberators, so you got to be careful as Lambo pushing on into these Liberators, and looks like he's a little bit exposed here. He left this injured 4th base exposed as INnoVation comes in with another portion of his army towards this 4th base, but so far Lambo pushing INnoVation back on multiple fronts. That being said, he doesn't want to overcommit off this creep. It's really just these Hydras, which are painfully slow off creep, pushing on in, but Lambo figures he wants to try and get some more damage done, picks off a medivac or 2, and so far he's kept his bases going. He took that damage from the drop, yes, but his economy hasn't fallen to pieces. Looks like a Widow Mine being a pain here. Would like to see Lambo maybe try and squeeze out another round of drones or something. Maybe start another hatchery if possible, just to compete with INnoVation's 80 SCV strong economy, or maybe go for some counter damage or something. But as far as the playing it long, surviving game goes, Lambo's doing it for now. He needs to try and consolidate a little bit here. INnoVation's given him a tiny bit of room to breathe for now, as INnoVation just staying back, but I don't know how long he's going to be doing that. One Ling at this 4th base is being a nuisance. SCV's getting harassed. This is an Adrenal Gland Zergling at this point, so he attacks pretty quick, but then the Planetary dispatches of that poor Zergling. Now let's take a look. INnoVation pushing on in towards this 4th base once again. The Hydra count not too high here anymore for Lambo. I mean, 13 Hydras, it's enough here. It adds the range in the army, but these Ultras are starting just to spill forward and get picked off. This 4th base is pretty darn low on energy, low on HP here. That being said, though, there are full energy Vipers here for Lambo, and their spells can absolutely turn a battle here for Zerg. There's the rest of the Hydras there defending this lower location, but yeah, Lambo, he's staying alive. He's approaching maxed out. If Lambo can hit maxed out, that could really be a turning point in this game here for the Zerg player. Now let's take a look. Yeah, supply building. Lambo supply locked once again. Gotta stay on top of that. I mean, I feel like he makes that mistake every now and then with getting supply blocked, and you can't have that happen as a Zerg player. Like, I think this isn't the first Lambo game I've cast which this has happened, which he's left himself be supply blocked a little bit too long. That being said, though, he's making 44 banelings. I think he's planning on going for an attack right now, but in doing so, in posturing for that attack, he's left himself exposed, and INnoVation just flies on in, picks off this base, and this was the critical base of Lambo. He's only on 5 locations, and now being knocked down to 4, that is going to hurt his economy, which has just suddenly drastically fallen. INnoVation is committed with these units. There's Vipers out wherever they are. Where are those Vipers? Oh, they still haven't come back. So INnoVation, if he gets out with these units, that is going to be ridiculous. INnoVation just flew all the way over the Zerg base here and is getting out with 5 full medivacs. The Viper, yeah, they actually give up. Oh my god, that really hurts for Lambo. Those units should have at least been a consolation prize for losing that base, but INnoVation is going to keep that supply alive. And oh, yeah, those Vipers just being out on the map and not pulling back with the rest of the units, that hurt Lambo. I think we need to see a double expand from him soon if he can afford it, and he can. He's got the resources. So, well, yeah, I think we need to see Lambo just try and get up another hatchery. There we go. There it is. He's now starting to look to push on into INnoVation maybe once more. He's still got all those banelings he made, but INnoVation has made a ton of Liberators. He's got out Ghosts now, and Ghosts and Liberators are pretty darn good. There's some banelings rolling on forward here. Let's see if they can get any decent connections. So they mainly hit into Marauders. The Ghosts are retreating. All the Vipers have gone forward, but they actually got EMP'd there by INnoVation, so suddenly Lambo's attack just falls flat on its face, and there is INnoVation with a counterattack right now, hitting one of the critical last bases for Lambo, so suddenly things kind of turning on their head for the Zerg player. Banelings roll forward, connecting with a lot of Marauders here. And Lambo's attack does not work there. Those EMPs for INnoVation really helped him out, and it was just not an attack that seemed super well thought out or anything like that. He didn't really know what he was attacking into, it would seem. Looks like a couple of medivacs could get picked off here. No INnoVation boost right at the last second, and it's just keeping things strong right now. I mean, Lambo's not dead, but that last minute didn't really go too well for him. We see INnoVation just on such a good economy behind this. Getting extra command centers here, getting up, I mean, just, yeah, a lot of extra command centers. That's really tearing late game right there. Sensor towers or missile turrets, Liberators getting up, and just INnoVation just reaching the later and later game, and he's just happily trading out with Lambo here. The resources lost starting to look a bit concerning, and yeah, Lambo actually just taps out there, yeah, just saying, I mean, maybe he could have dragged that out, but INnoVation was kind of unbreachable at this point in the game, and Lambo just, he lost his 4th base here and was having to rebuild. He got that 5th base, had this base here, but that was probably going to be harassed pretty well, I imagine. So, yeah, Lambo taps out. INnoVation takes it, takes the 2-0. Let's just update that. There we go, 2-0 for INnoVation. I mean, you can kind of expect that result in this matchup, but I think Lambo played a fantastic TvZ, and just goes to show how good of a Zerg player he is. But, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Once again, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to press that like button. Let's try and hit 20 likes on this great TvZ. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as I'm going to be putting out more and more StarCraft 2 content, maybe some games, maybe some vlogs, things like that. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.